watching me from home. So Samson, the question that you ask, I was laughing not just because of what Richard Ahiagba is saying, but because of some history of what we know about Richard Japa, about some of the Rambo-style activities that he has engaged in since this government came into being. And so when I hear some of these stories, I'm like, okay, the more things change, the more they remain the same. So how is it that the IGP would announce that the police is going to be fully in charge of security of any and everything that has to do with Akwatia, and that they are deploying about 5,500 men, approximately one police for 10, voters in Akwatia, because the voter population is about 52,000, if my numbers are correct. So that's about 10 voter per police, and that's even way too much. And we are being told that the military is also surreptitiously doing some activities under the leadership of Richard Japa. Now, if you have regard to what has transpired previously, that the rerun in Ablekuma North and some of the violence that took place, and you go back to even Chereponi, you go back to Ayawaso, West Wagon, and even that same Akwatia itself, when we're going to do the rerun in about 9 polling stations sometime in 2009, you find that almost invariably the violent situations that we have seen looks like it's likely to repeat itself if care is not taken. Now, we need to do something about this situation. If the police is in charge, the police must be seen to be fully in charge. And if the IGP has given assurance that the police, without involving any other security agency, is going to be fully in charge, then any other person who comes there must necessarily, be cleared by the IGP, first of all. And that clearance must be made known to the constituents and Ghanaians in general, that the IGP has varied his position that it's only the police that's going to be responsible for these elections, so that we know that the military are going to be deployed on the day of election. Otherwise, what Richard Ahiagba is saying is that if this is what the case is, the official position is what the IGP has communicated. It only means that if we find people wearing custom uniform, prison uniform, fire service uniform, police, military uniform, it's likely that these guys are going to be imposters. So we must take the law into our hands to protect the ballot. That is essentially what Richard Japa is saying. I'm not too sure whether that is the best. Richard Ahiagba is saying, I'm not too sure that is the best situation, but he said that when you've been bitten by a snake before, anything that you find, that is clearly looking like a snake would put you, on clear inquiry to be alert that, look, what has happened to you before is likely to happen to you again. So I think that having regard to meetings that have been held between the Electoral Commission, the police, more or less IPAC, and the parties, we have to stick to the ground rules, stick to the roadmap, and ensure that this election will be clearly different from what we have taken Ghanaians through in the past, couple of years. Since the by-elections that we have taken. Since you have endorsed what Richard Ahiagba said. No, I've not endorsed what Richard Ahiagba is saying. I'm saying that we need clarity now. Because what Richard Ahiagba is saying is that IGP says that we are going to have only police on the ground. Now, if we are going to have only police on the ground, what is the military doing? Okay, you're repeating something you said. He did not only make a statement. He said that the NPP has its intel. And the intel is that the national security under Richard Japa's direction are in there to cause mayhem. He actually said that they had, gotten people to leave
their homes.
Yes.
And molested people and so on.
To live in their own interest.
And you say that the military is doing something surreptitiously under the leadership of Richard Japa. That's what you just said.
Exactly.
Okay. So, you know the way you know the way I do my stuff here.
Of course, I know.
Okay. And you are a lawyer. So the name of the game is evidence.
That's right.
Can the NPP or yourself point us to a scintilla of evidence to support these very wild, serious claims?
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. We have our people on the ground in Akwatia, and I'm sure as we sit in this studio, if I request for it, I would be given the evidence and I will share it with you. But what is important is that we must recognize
the people they have asked to leave their homes and so on. Have you heard any one person in that constituency complain that this is what has happened to them?
You see, something, they won't get the benefit of coming to Newsfile, or they won't get the benefit of going on radio or TV. It's only when we do our door-to-door, and that's what we do. We don't just mass up people to do mass rallies. We go to their various homes, and then we listen to their concerns.
And some of them, people would have been taken under such treatment, and they would be quiet in Akwatia. They would not have spoken up.
And that's why they have reported to us, and we are just anchoring, the voices of the people.
They are reporting to you. They are not talking to the media about it.
But on the ground in Akwatia, these are matters that are openly being discussed. So maybe in Accra, we don't even realize what's going on in Akwatia, but there's a lot going on the grounds in Akwatia.
Okay,
there's a lot of
obviously you can't get any evidence from you guys. But what I need you to tell me is when you say touch base with the military is there doing something surreptitious under the leadership of Richard Japa, what exactly is this they are doing?
What the things they're doing is that they are moving with their vehicles, all right, on the ground and moving from place to place, one committee to the other, in clear military uniforms, all right? So, when it comes to elections, the election architecture is such that the police is primarily responsible. It's only when police call in the military or they call national security for reinforcement that we find the military joining. But in this case, we have not even started the election.
So
what is going to happen is that on the day of election,
the police can call in the military. So what do you say to Richard Anyagba, who says if they see any military officer, they would treat him, so I can't repeat his own words, and so on and so forth.
The last communication we heard from the IGP is that the police will be solely responsible for this election. The IGP has not said anything to the contrary. So it stands to reason that the IGP's earlier position stands. So any other thing that is contrary to what the IGP says would be deemed to be flouting even the police regulations.
Okay, you hold on.
So we want to see a situation where the IGP himself will speak to the Ghanaian media and the Ghanaian people and the people of Akwatia to expect this or the other.
Okay, so